Crime-related news, this time coming from National News. An article dated today. UK moves to block Guantanamo Bay prisoners suing over CIA torture claims. Abu Zubaydah alleges British security services were complicit in waterboarding and other torture. Let's read along. The UK government is trying to stop a Guantanamo Bay prisoner suing over claims that security services were complicit in his torture at CIA black sites. Zain al-Abidin Mohammed Hussein, Saudi-born Palestinian and suspected senior Osama bin Laden lieutenant, better known as Abu Zubaydah, alleges the British security services passed questions to the Americans during interrogations in which he was waterboarded 83 times at the sites in 6 countries. Abu Zubaydah was the first high-profile al-Qaeda suspect to be captured after the September 11 attacks and has been held since then without trial. His lawyers are suing for false imprisonment, negligence, and misfeasance in public office. They highlight a U.S. Senate report that said he suffered serious injuries and permanent physical disability as a result of torture so severe, even CIA officers were left profoundly distressed. But the government is arguing UK law is not applicable in this case, that any claims should be brought in the countries where the alleged torture took place. It initially won its argument, but that was overturned on appeal, and ministers have now gone to the Supreme Court in a bid to save the claim to be thrown out. The government's lawyer, Sir James Edley, KC, said at the start of the hearing that Abu Zubaydah had never set foot in the United Kingdom, nor does he claim that British intelligence services directly harmed him. He told the court the United Kingdom could not be liable as his personal injuries were not caused by the posing of questions, nor the critical conduct was carried out by the CIA. In his submission to the Supreme Court, Abu Zubaydah's lawyer said if the United Kingdom government was successful, it would lead to an outcome which is unprincipled, unworkable, and absurd. The liability of the government for human rights abuses in secret extra-legal prisons abroad on behalf of the United Kingdom would be determined not in Britain, but by the laws of an array of foreign countries, he said. Neither the victim nor those alleged to be complicit in the abuses would have any meaningful connection with these countries. Between 2002 and 2006, he was flown to Thailand, Poland, Morocco, Lithuania, and Afghanistan for interrogation before being taken back to Guantanamo Bay in 2006, where he has since been held, the Supreme Court heard. He had reportedly been subjected to protracted confinement inside tiny boxes, including one resembling a coffin. His ordeal in captivity became the blueprint for brutal U.S. treatment. During the waterboarding, Abu Zubaydah became completely unresponsive, with bubbles rising through his open mouth, according to U.S. Senate intelligence report. Former President George W. Bush claimed in 2006 that information provided by Abu Zubaydah under the CIA's program of enhanced interrogation led to the capture of Ramzi bin al-Shibh, a Yemeni accused of being a key facilitator of the September 11 attacks. The former president further claimed that the pair provided information that helped in the capture of 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. But other claims that Abu Zubaydah made while in custody have been found to be false. British police started an investigation in 2019 into the alleged complicity of security and intelligence officials from MI5 and MI6. The United Kingdom's All-Party Parliamentary Intelligence and Security Committee concluded in 2018, after a 4-year inquiry, that MI6 knew about his extreme mistreatment and possible torture. Now, for a little bit about Abu Zubaydah. Abu Zubaydah was alleged to be a lieutenant for al-Qaeda and was a recruiter at the Chaldean training camp. He was actually captured in Pakistan in March of 2002 and has been in U.S. custody ever since, including, like I read in the report, 4 years of being in CIA black sites, which black sites refer to CIA sites where torture takes place. And that he was transferred among prisons in various countries. And there was a lawsuit against Lithuania in Poland. And I've uploaded on my WordPress the entire court document regarding Abu Zubaydah versus Lithuania. It's a fascinating read. It goes to show you how extensive the CIA program was in these foreign countries, especially in Poland and in Germany. And during his time in CIA custody, he's actually tortured extensively. Like the article said, he's waterboarded 83 times. He actually was forced to sleep nude in sleep deprivation positions, confinement in small boxes, deprived of solid food, and stress positions, and physical assaults, walling, slapping. There are videotapes of Abu Zubaydah's interrogations that were destroyed under order from Jose Rodriguez of the CIA in 2005. Zubaydah and 10 other high-value detainees are in Guantanamo Bay currently. They're actually held in Camp 7, which is basically a camp which is formerly known as Camp Platinum, which is the most secure camp in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And when it was first built, it was kept under extreme secrecy. And in 2014, the European Court of Human Rights ordered that the Polish government pay Zubaydah damages due to the fact that he was tortured by agents of the government under orders from the CIA, and that it happened under the watch of the Lithuanian Polish government. But there's a problem, and there's a lot of contradiction. And I want to bring this up because I feel that this is really important to show. And what I'm going to show is a cable that was declassified when the Committee's Select on Intelligence was investigating the CIA's rendition and torture program. And this cable, which I'm going to make myself disappear here so you can read, says Detention Site Green, which is a site in a black site, which CIA records indicate was authored by Swigert and Dunbar. Now, Swigert and Dunbar are covert names for the CIA SEER program directors, Bruce Jessen and James Mitchell. Also viewed the interrogation of Abu Zubaydah as a success. The cable recommended that the aggressive phase at Detention Site Green should be used as a template for further interrogation of high-value captives, not because the CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques provided useful information, but rather because their use confirmed that Abu Zubaydah did not, and I repeat, did not possess the intelligence that CIA headquarters had assessed Abu Zubaydah to have. The cable from the detention site stated, quote, "Our goal was to reach the stage where we have broken any will or ability or subject to resist or deny providing us information, intelligence to which he had access. We additionally sought to bring subject to the point that we confidently assess that he does not possess undisclosed threat information or intelligence that can prevent a terrorist event." So this contradicts what the CIA and James Mitchell and Bruce Jessen originally stated, that the program was a success, that this guy, and this is repeated by the Director of Central Intelligence, George Tenet, that Abu Zubaydah possessed intimate knowledge about people like Ramzi bin al-Shibh or Khalid Sheikh Mohammed or terrorist threats that were yet to be carried out. None of that is true. And it doesn't stop there. There is a Washington Post article back in 2006, 2009, that said this: CIA says it misjudged role of high-value detainee Abu Zubaydah, transcript shows. Washington Post, dated June 16, 2009. An al-Qaeda associate captured by the CIA and subjected to harsh interrogation techniques said his jailers later told him they had mistakenly thought he was the number 3 man in the organization's hierarchy and a partner of Osama bin Laden, according to newly released excerpts from a 2007 hearing. Abu Zubaydah, speaking in broken English, according to the new transcript of a combatant status review tribunal held at a U.S. military prison in Guantanamo Bay, said, quote, "They told me, sorry, we discovered that you are not number 3, not a partner, not even a fighter," end quote. Well, it seems we have a problem. If the CIA is saying that the program was a success and that the House Oversight Intelligence Committee is saying that that is not true, that the CIA has admitted to Abu Zubaydah that he's not even an al-Qaeda operative, why in the hell is Abu Zubaydah still in Guantanamo Bay? And why in the hell is he considered a forever detainee? And he is the only prisoner at Guantanamo Bay that has that label. So I think this is actually a huge problem for the federal government, because if they let him go because of torture and because that they have no evidence, well, who's to say that the Guantanamo Five of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Ramzi bin al-Shibh, Omar al-Baluchi, Tawfiq bin Attash, and Mustafa al-Hassawi, all 5 being charged with logistical and organizational planners of the September 11 attacks, don't get the same treatment. And then, not only that, nobody gets charged for 9/11 at all. And everybody gets away. Whether you want to believe it's al-Qaeda, or you want to believe it's a combination of al-Qaeda, CIA, or you want to believe it's a combination of al-Qaeda, the American intelligence services, and Israel and Saudi intelligence services, all these scenarios could be correct. But we don't know. So we're left to believe whatever we want. And that's not exactly a position where we want to be. But that's where the federal government and the intelligence services, foreign and domestic, exactly where they want you to be, to believe whatever you want and to know nothing, because we can't act on belief. All right, guys, whenever there's breaking news, I'm always going to come to you first, unbiased, unprejudiced news and information. See you in the next video, everybody. Good night.